Hi, it's me again. I shot this video when we first got to Japan so I can so you can feel my emotions from the stress from the flight about our dogs. I had my wife do another video of the paperwork involved so you guys can know how to bring your pets to the Philippines. I would look for that video or subscribe. Or just look for the video of the paperwork that my wife did, and it'll help you out a lot. We'll talk to you later. Please enjoy the video. Bye. Hey, it's me again. It's a nice cold February day again. And we're at Virgin Island. They call it Virgin Island because there's a lot of virgins here. Yeah, I'm talking about my dogs. But anyway. No, they call this Virgin Island because it's supposed to be a virgin island, but it's not very virgin anymore. So, anyway, speaking of dogs, yeah, someone wanted me to make a video of the trip with the dogs. And, well, for one, every place that says no video around the airport, you know, especially when it comes to dogs. And so what happened? Our 4-hour flight from Haneda in Japan to Cebu, Philippines turned into a 24-hour flight because dogs had to fly a special airplane, and I heard it's because they have ventilators for the dogs. That's why you have to take the leash off. You know, I see a lot of people talking about why their leash was off the dog and all this stuff. It's because they didn't know that they put ventilators on the dogs, and that's why you can't bring Chihuahuas, because of their nose. They can push off the ventilator off the nose, and then they die because they don't have oxygen. So I don't think the cabins are always pressurized, so I don't really know the details. That's just what I've heard, and so I'm passing it on to you. But before we left Haneda, we had all the documentation, all the everything that the airlines required, and we followed that to the T. We took the dogs to the vet and did everything we were supposed to do. But when we got to Haneda, everything was done, but they said that the dog's paperwork had the wrong stamp, and so we had to go to the quarantine place where they had a veterinarian, and they had to look over the dogs, check their chip in their neck and all that stuff. And we got there probably, I'd say 5 or 6 hours early, because we had to take that special flight for the dogs. But we spent the whole time talking to that veterinarian, and we just barely made our flight. At the same time, not sure if our dogs was going to make the flight. And then the veterinarian is telling us that the Philippines might not let our dogs in the country, and if that happens, our dogs can't return to Japan. In other words, they would probably have to be killed. So that added stress to the flight. So, you know, seemed like everything worked out. There was problems with the airline. I can't remember what the situation was. We were worrying about the dogs being stuck on the tarmac in the hot sun. Oh yeah, it is hot. I was lying about being cold. So this is new, by the way, so I figured I'll check it out. Anyway, we left Haneda. We arrived in Manila, and again we had problems with the paperwork, and we had their veterinarian look at it, and yeah, he was one of the really good veterinarians. So I looked at the paperwork, and you paid some money, and everything was good. And so we got into Manila okay, and then our flight to Cebu, and again we had problems with their dogs and the paperwork, and they had to look at it, and I don't know, the whole trip they made you worry, and in other words, making it so you're not sure if it's worth taking your dogs or not. So, you know, once the dogs are here, I was glad we did it, but at the time the stress was so bad. I mean, you know, my dogs, you know, and I didn't want nothing to happen to my dogs. So I almost wish I kept them in Japan, but it turned out okay. And I don't know, I think the airlines just don't like flying with dogs. It's too easy for them, I think, to get killed, because if something happens to the airplane and they're stuck on the tarmac with the sun like it is today, it's probably 100 degrees, and yeah, they would be in bad shape. And then there's always somebody that has to carry the dogs. So, you know, they're paying that guy probably, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks an hour, and it's probably 8 hours of work. So anyway, they make you pay for it, trust me. Altogether, I'm not really sure how much Golda paid, but it was $400 for the first time. That I know. And so, but every place we went, it was, you know, it was either in Japanese money or pesos, Philippine money. And like I said, the first one I knew about because Japanese money is pretty easy to calculate. But Filipino money, you know, they start talking about charges here and charges there. You know, that stuff adds up after a while. And so anyway, just sort of checking out these sites. This is, like I said, this is new. It's old, but it's new. I haven't been here in probably 5 years. So this probably looked pretty good 5 years ago. And anyway, so we finally get the dogs, and then you have to pay a tax when you arrive, and then you know, I don't know, it's like they were always saying just hide your dog, and I really, you know, I know why. It's because the places we went, but every place you go, you're supposed to have a permit for your dog. But this was about the airport, so let me stick to that. And like I said, it was just stressful. And we got them home. They're going to be here permanently along with us, and you can't miss this beauty. And it's summer 365 days a year, and I hate the winter. So sorry for all you guys in Indiana. I know it's a balmy, what, 0 degrees? Don't mean to laugh, I just feel sorry for you guys. I wish you guys were here. I'm sure we can have a lot of fun. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.